So in our kind of overview of psychology video, Trevor, mentioned really on the first tee, most of us are playing the wrong psychology game. Can you just remind us of that metaphor?
Yeah, so use of the golf club, if I was on a session with a client, this is what we'd actually do, and just start to kind of notice where our attention is going. So, the fact that we're kind of nervous and anxious, we know from, way back when, evolutionary perspective, that's a very normal thing for us to experience. But if we're very in our head with this, it doesn't mean to say it's useful. So just noticing, like if we were to just to hit a shot right now, if you were really in your head over this shot, what type of things would be showing up?
Sorry, so this is me in my head,
Yeah, yes.
And that end would be
being in your game.
In my game.
Yeah.
Okay, and as we said on the previous video, mainstream psychology has us trying to sort of fight nervousness and pretend I'm not nervous and play sort of these mind games. And that,
mental gymnastics are sometimes
keeps us at that end, isn't it?
Correct.
In our head.
Correct.
The question?
So what would be showing up for you right now, let's say? If you were more in your head.
If I was more in the head on the tee, I would be, I don't need to think too hard, it's usually familiar with me, and I'm sure many people. I'd be thinking about not to mess up, how it's looking. I'd be thinking about, not looking daft, not hitting a real howler, and all these things that are sort of protecting my identity. And if I'm hitting here, my identity as a golf coach who should be reasonably good at this, that's where I'd be.
And let's roll with that. Like if you did screw up on camera, people watching, hopefully, like what might show up for you? Like
if I did, just embarrassment, isn't it?
Okay,
embarrassment.
Awesome.
And,
so you can kind of sense that kind of knotted into this is this sense of I don't want to feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you mind just going ahead and hit one, and just allow yourself to kind of let that stick around.
Yeah. Let that stick around. Okay, so
that sense of trying to avoid feeling embarrassed.
Okay, right. Right. Okay.
So a little bit leaky. But what was that like as an experience? What was showing up for you over the shot?
Familiar. Okay. It's very familiar. It was. I can tell you one thing. It was here. It was all here, and then the ball went quite straight. That was nice. It was almost like a relief when it went straight.
Okay, awesome. So a sense of relief that the ball got away. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it the best drive you've ever hit?
Absolutely not.
No. Okay.
I mean, it's in play. Whew.
Yeah. Okay. So a sense of just getting through it, getting it over with.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've got through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So do you mind if we just do something that might help us just nudge back this way? So I kind of say that there's a bit of a stepping stone that we want to get to first, which is just a little grounding exercise, if that's okay. And I'm just actually taking this one from Daniel Carter, the all-time point scorer in rugby union for the All Blacks, and he talked about kind of redhead and bluehead. So when he was redhead, he'd be like, oh my God, there's 80,000 people watching me, I could let the whole of New Zealand down, kind of rugby crazed nation.
So redhead is in his head.
Really in his head.
So the consequences and self-consciousness.
That's it. Kicking for the World Cup and what if I miss and everything else. So, the stepping stone he'd make, first that he would acknowledge that he's in a state of redhead, and then he'd do a very simple grounding exercise to kind of rebalance if this is like a seesaw. So just very simply, just allow yourself to just go up onto your toes for, let's say, 3 or 4 seconds. Just raise up onto your toes. And see if you can just really focus in on that sense of pressure of your toes pressing into the ground.
So this would be something you do on the tee?
100%.
So while you're sort of waiting around and what have you, and it's maybe not your go. Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah. And just notice that your attention is neither over here in your head and it's neither in your game. What it's getting us is kind of back into balance, so to speak. Okay. So I'd then be curious about, if you were really in your game, well, what kind of stuff is showing up for you at this end?
Okay, if I was in my game, so I'd be less concerned about all that self-consciousness stuff. I'd be thinking about the task. I'd be thinking about the ball flight I want to hit, start line, finish line, much more engaged in the shot.
Do you mind if I just ask a simple question there?
Yeah.
Like, what does a good swing feel like?
Do you want me to express it or do it?
Just simply, yeah.
Do it or explain it?
See if you can do it and just notice where your focus is.
Well, that's
talk us through it if you can.
Okay, where is my focus when I'm trying to sort of think about a good swing?
What does a good swing feel like?
Okay. Okay, it's smooth, it's balanced.
Okay. So smooth and balance.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Let's
Yeah.
see if we can hit one, focusing on smooth and balance.
And what, being more outwardly focused?
If that's showing up for you as being kind of more
For
in the
me
game,
to be
absolutely.
engaged in the shot, it's definitely more about what I want to do out there.
Okay.
Smooth and balanced. Okay.
And did you notice as you were over the ball, if you could almost just use your index finger to kind of trace where you were, like where did you feel you were on that scale actually hitting that shot?
Okay, so if that's in my head and that's in the shot,
Where did you feel you were there?
probably here.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And this isn't a panacea by any means. What this is a tool to do is to just start noticing where our attention is, because 99% of people that are playing golf, particularly amateurs, will be over here but be clueless that they're over there.
Yeah, I think that's the big
So
one.
this
isn't
is,
it?
we call this tracking in psychology. That's the
Right,
kind of
okay.
psychological term for this, and we're beginning to kind of track where your attention is.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then again, and none of this guarantees a great shot off the first tee, does it?
Not at all.
But
we're starting to kind of load the deck in our favour.
yeah,
Yeah.
and as we've said before, at least now we know the game we're playing, and the game is to
100%.
get away from it in our head and more into the shot.
100%.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I will try that out, and I will see the next time I'm on the first tee and there's a group around if I can stay over this end and less playing mind games about not being nervous.
Yeah, and we find that mental balance and then go ahead and connect with what we're trying to do.